Sporting touch of hands. Round number one. There's the fast start. And that is the fastest knockout in bare knuckle fighting championship.
Vámonos, born in the Bronx, raised in Dade. Been in the city since Pit had braids. Baja Panty parties, plata know how to sneak me out. Now it's 7-figure meetings, every day we lead a house. It's game time, the game's mine, you know the vibe. Yo viajado el mundo entero, rapping 305.
Welcome to another episode of Don't Blink Podcast.
Yes.
You know I got the kid in the building.
You already know we in here.
My brother, so listen to today's episode, right? It's been, it was 5 years, 4.5 years since me and this person talked. Very special person in my life.
Talking to the mic,
Oh, yeah, you're right. Very special person in my life. About 4.5 years since we talked, because, 5 years ago now, I was a whole different person, had a whole different mentality, wasn't very mature yet. You know, I was 35 years old, but I still wasn't mature. Not that I am too much more now, but I am a little bit more, so especially in certain areas.
Yeah. We tighten
But
up.
so I had this 3-second knockout in November. You were there when I had, everybody saw that 3-second knockout, and that shit rings bells all around the world, bro. Goes everywhere. You know, every little country you could think of was calling me for an interview, and then it lands in Spain, in this Cuban newspaper in Spain, right? So somebody over there sees my name, somehow puts me and this person together, right? He goes, oh shit, I think this is fucking Nestor's son.
Yeah.
Right? So basically I have my father on here, guys. I'll tell you on. You're going to see him in a second. And they reach out to my father in LA, from Spain to LA, on an email, and they say, yo, isn't this your son? 4.5 years past, he calls me, man. And we reconciled, and here we are 5 years later with my father, Nestor Diaz De Villegas.
Yeah, baby.
Awesome to have you on, my father, my DNA, my blood, my everything right here, my roots.
Hell yeah.
Dope show, bro.
No, it's going down.
For those people that don't know, my father is an author, has many books published and written. I just went to another one of his readings. Me and him have we've had a great relationship from the beginning, but it's very, very, we're coming full circle. We've been in every area of our relationship you can think of. I think that's why we have such a great one now, and it's awesome to have you on here, Dad.
Wonderful to be here. Wonderful. Yeah. A follower and a fan of this program. But watch every single one of them.
Thank you, Pops. We in here.
Yes, sir.
So right now we got one of the amazing books that he just released. Tell us about this one.
Well, this is a very important book. This is a book where I make a compilation of writings by Jose Marti, which everybody knows, Cubans know. This is a national hero. This is our Hamilton and Washington, wrapped together in one. So he's a great man, a wonderful man, and a teacher. So now this publishing company, which is the biggest publishing company in the whole world, because it absorbed everything else and swallowed up all the little guys, it's a Penguin Random House.
Yeah,
so now, of course, there's such a large Spanish audience in America, and of course south of the border too, that they have opened a new
genre?
A new house. This is new house that is for Spanish speakers.
New platform.
A new platform.
Yeah.
So this is vintage Español.
But it's under Penguin.
Under Penguin.
Okay.
Penguin.
Nice.
Penguin is the one that manages me. The one that my editors are from Penguin. So Penguin publishes Spanish authors under that seal. Let's say it. And when they approached me, this is the classics. So all the greats from Latin America are gonna be published by this collection. So among them, Jose Marti, many others from South America, the greatest, just the classics. So they approach authors to write an introduction and explain to the new generations. Well, I'm not the new generation, but I can speak to the new generation about who this guy was. This is the first bloguero, the first blogger, the first content creator. This is a man working in when he got here, he was 28 years old. He came to New York. He became a great newspaper man, and he went to Cuba to liberate Cuba when he was 42, and he died in the field of action. So this is a great man, a man of action, a man of letters, and one of the great writers of the world. And so now my task was to present him to the new world as what he was. He was the initiator of a trends and tendencies
that we're still carrying
that
on
we're
right
still
now. That's
and,
amazing.
And this Jose Marti, like with the schools and stuff. That
Exactly.
Yeah, Cuba, Jose Marti. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, there's only one famous poet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us how you got, when you started writing, and how you got to the United States in the struggle. Tell us a little bit of your story, please.
I started writing very early on because my grandfather was a man of letters, to call it that. He had a great library at home, in his home. So I was introduced to books in a very special manner. Instead of telling me, "Oh, you have to read this, you have to read every day, you have to read," it was way very special. He would take me to his library. It was just one piece of furniture. It was very beautiful, and he would take one of the books out, put it on the table, on the dining room table, and every single book was wrapped in paper and tied up with a twine, twine.
Yeah.
And he would say, "Unwrap it." And I would unwrap it, open it, and he would say, "This is Don Quixote, no? This is this is that. So one day you're going to read it." That's all he said. So he said, "I'm going to read you a little bit." So that's how I grew up. I grew up with that enticement. You're going to read all these things that I have over here. You're going to inherit this. So I started reading even before he passed when I was 16. I had read half of that library when I was 16. So among the writers that he collected were the most important writers in the world, Voltaire, Mark Twain. So I started reading Mark Twain when I was very young, at 12. So I was always I was mentored by my grandfather, a man of letters. So very early on I started writing. This is during the revolution in Cuba. By the time I was 16, I was writing counter-revolutionary poetry. I understood that this was an oppressive regime. I didn't want to be part of it. I became an outsider. I became a lone wolf because, in that environment, you don't find people that side with you. And at 17, I wrote a few poems against the government. By the time I was 18, I was in jail. I was in jail first, under interrogation for 30 days with 18 years old. And after that, after a sham trial, I was sent to jail for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so
And then
you're a political prisoner in Cuba.
Political prisoner.
Yes, sir.
because of your writings.
Because of my writing. My writing, particularly one poem that they found objectionable, and I was picked up in school, put in a police car, taken to an interrogation, what they call now, everybody knows, Villa Marista. It's the place where the secret police interrogate you. And from that point on, then the trial, and then they ask for 12 years.
Damn.
For those writings. And then I got half. I got 6. And then Jimmy Carter, 5 years later, was the president of the United States. And thanks to a conversation between him and Castro, I came out 1 year earlier. I came out 5 years after, at 23.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And at that time, I mean, what year was that?
79.
79. So
79.
at that time, there's clearly no technology, right? So it's like at that time, how did they find your poems? Like what was going on there? Was it just repartiéndolo in the schools and then one person led to one person? Like that's how that happened.
Correct. And of course, no internet, but not only that, no computers, okay? So what I had was an old Remington typewriter. So the way you did it at that time, if you had a little printing machine that I used to call it, I remember how it called. I remember in a moment. But a little printing machine, you would do it printed. With this, first generation printing machine. But in my case, I didn't have that. So what I had, it was carbon paper, and I would make 10 copies, and then 10 copies, and then 10 copies of the same poem. Then come to school, and this was really. This was like, going to Twin Towers and smashing a plane into it. It was a comparison is that. It was really, really dangerous. So I would make copies of these poems, give them away, to my so-called friends.
Yeah.
But you don't have friends under a totalitarian rule.
Yeah. They snitch.
They snitch. So, some of them snitch on me, and immediately the security police, they came and they said, then, now you're gonna follow him. You're gonna collect everything that he gives you, bring it here. So a year after, they don't only have what they needed, they had like 10 times what they needed.
Right. They got a whole investigation on you.
Yeah.
Well, and so immediately after prison, 79, you get out and come to the States, right? You come to Miami first?
Yeah, what happened is that at the 5th year of my term, I had one more year to go. This is it's not a jail like here, like the jail is around the corner from here. No, these are concentration camps. These are camps with double wire, barbed wire, dogs in the middle, and then garita, I don't know what they call it.
So towers.
The towers, you have towers all over. And then attached to the jail, you have a factory. And in the factory, you made prefabricated prefabs, prefab elements that they use later for whatever, to build other jails or school or whatever. So we worked on that. I worked from 18 to 23 in the sun, hitting my head in the middle of a huge factory. So I worked all those years, 5 years in the factory, and the jail was divided, in the middle. It was a little road that divided that farm into two sections. The common prisoners and the political prisoners. We were 500 of us political prisoners from that region, which is the city of Cienfuegos. And then the common prisoners. So we would only, meet for work, meet for lunch and dinner. And in my case, I was in the juvenile barracks. Juvenile with 120 more that were like me, counter-revolutionaries. Great people, great youngsters that were against that
revolution.
Those motherfuckers.
Which is crazy that they're fucking sit around to this day, too.
They're sitting around to this day, and it's 45 years after. So this is what you saw what happened on July 11th. So now I've been to many interviews, and they tell me, what do you think will happen? I said, what happened is that Nestor became 150,000, 250,000 Nestors. At that time, I was alone. Now I feel that all of these kids are my sons.
Everybody's believing in that movement. Which is, I mean, it's sad to see, but good to see because you want your people to stand up and say some shit. But like the way things are happening over there, it's sad. Cuba's, with the people killing each other and everything with this thing going on.
When you're active, when you're activist, what they call activists because you're active. Otherwise, you're a little sheep and you're over here and you don't act. You don't do shit. So if you act like I did, or all these kids did, or many people did throughout the years, then you have to say, okay, I'm risking anything. So my dad was a revolutionary, was a member of the party, and he would tell me, you're gonna get in trouble, but at 18, that was not a concern, Okay, I get in trouble, so what the fuck? I get in trouble. So I got in trouble, then after I said, shit, I got in trouble. My dad told me. But this is what youth is all about. The youth, you don't do this with me now. I can't. I would do it, but, not old people my age would do it.
Right. But you're doing it in a different way. You're doing it like this, hard copy.
There you go.
Exactly.
There you go. But, you need the youth. You need the hot blood to say, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And I feel like what's at least with the Cuban country, like I feel like the younger generation, they ain't never gonna live that. You know what I mean? Like how passionate, like how what happened 50 years ago, 40 years ago. A person that's 20 years old right now in Cuba, a kid, 13, 14, that just wants to do music, wants to play, wants to see what's going on social media, wants to do all these things. It's up to really them to really be that voice, like you're saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But right now it's going crazy over there, though. Cause right now they're the streets are turning back because everybody's tired of the bullshit. So it's getting wild. And
I've actually seen a little bit. I've seen it die down a little bit. I don't think they're not. They're not there. I mean, it's hard. It's hard.
It's impossible. It's impossible
to keep that up.
Yeah, keep that up. People didn't know what they had in store. In storage, they didn't know. But at the moment when people came out into the street in numbers, I mean, this was a whole Cuba, and the whole at once. So all of a sudden, you had what they call the black berets. Yeah. They came out, and I don't know if you've seen the images. People were unarmed, peaceful protesters, and they were going at them with guns, like
With guns
pow,
and-
pow, pow.
yeah.
So this is number one. Number two, after the fact, you don't know how many people died. They say one. They said one, and they gave only one name. But this is a total control. You control the media. You control. At that moment there was a blackout of internet, so you have no way to report anything.
Right.
So these are things that happen. Because of internet, and then when you black out internet, then you don't get any.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on. So literally, even here in Miami, like in El Belsaire, all these places, like there isn't any. Like we did hardcore protests for like
a week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks, maybe even 3. And then that's it. Everybody went back to their regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah, man. It's hard, man. You're going up against a government's been around there fucking 65 years,
Yeah. And then we can't really do much here.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, we can do a lot. We can do a lot. It's important that we talk about it later.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we can do a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we got some secrets.
Wait, so I want to fast forward now to your side of the story when the knockout happens and it lands in an email.
Yeah.
And we hadn't spoken of it to this point.
Yeah, well, these are old friends. These are people that we initiated, or I was part of the beginning of news outlets in Spain, especially because most of the news that Cuban get, they are through independent media, and most of them are in Spain. And these people, I worked with them, back in the 90s and then the early 2000s. So they're great people, patriots, people that want to continue, giving the news, and they publish books too. They publish magazines, and these magazines are sent to Cuba so people can get a sense of what's going on. The thing is, and I'm going to make an aside here, is that when you go to school in Cuba, nobody tells you, okay, kids, history class. There was a guy named Nestor Diaz De Villegas at 18. He went to jail, and this is what he wrote. And he was a great writer, or a shitty writer, or an okay writer. But he existed. He was here. He lived in that house. And like him, this one, that one, that one. And this was the ex-president of the republic. You don't know any of this. All you know is, history started the moment that Castro appeared in our horizon. So you don't know anything. So therefore, the outsiders are the ones that have to feed these people whatever
information,
history or current events. So I was part of these things, and this is why I'm telling you that we can help, where we can transmit to them what's going on, the numbers, what we know, and they appreciate it. So this guy, very good friend, Pablo Diaz, who happens to write sports. He writes a sport page of a newspaper. And
Shout out to Pablo, bro.
Pablo Diaz, and Pablo calls me and he said, "Is that your son? The monster?" And I said, yeah, it's my son. I said, well, why didn't you say anything? He said, well, this is, he's on his own. But I want to connect the two. I want to connect the two stories, the writer and the fighter. And I said, no, he's also a storyteller. So if you call him, he's gonna tell you the whole story. So that's how it happened. So I get that call, 3 a.m. in the morning call, and it's about my son. But I knew already.
That's awesome. Yeah. No,
all right. So he was aware of it, and then his boy just hits him up like, "Yo, this is it." And then, we should have you. You want to write a book too. This is kind of cool too, bro.
This for years.
We talked about it. The thing is with books, anybody can write a book. This is nothing that's out of the ordinary. All you have to do is to keep it general. Every day you write the events of your life or the recollections. So once you have the recollections, then you give it form. But you don't even have, these days, you don't even have to do it yourself. There are ghost writers, people that work for you, but you have to have the basics, because I can't think for you, I can't recollect for you. So you do that, and then somebody give it shape, put it in order. So he'll write his book.
There's an app for that.
Probably.
And right now you live where now?
I live in Los Angeles since the year 2000. Yeah, I left here. I needed to start new life, and especially there's
Miami was getting too much.
Miami proved to be too much for this little person. So I went to Los Angeles, and over there I healed, and I started a new life, just like my son did just recently. He started a new life. He's a great guy. Always been. He's a sweetheart. Always been. But one time or another we were talking, and some drawbacks, some false steps on his part, just like anybody else. And I said, when you're gonna correct your attitude or your behavior? When? At 50. Because the only way it's time.
Right.
Same thing happened to me, and at 2000 I was ready to go.
Ready to go. And how's LA? How's LA life? How's that over there?
LA, I came to LA when I was already, middle aged. I was 44, so it wasn't a party town.
Yeah, it wasn't party town.
No, Miami has been. But I came to LA the first time with his mother, Mercy, when she was 18 and I was 23. So it was disco era. My first album that I bought was Bad Girls.
Damn.
So now I look back and I'm ashamed that that was what it was. And it was a disco era, so we went to the zoo, with famous discotheque, and this was another time. But now when I came back, it was just like go to work. My first job that I got there was in Hollywood with a production company, and I was a translator and all that.
Oh, damn,
and,
awesome.
Yeah, it was a little thing, but it gave me money to continue there. And after a while, I said, I'm going to stay here. Yeah.
I actually like the fact, if you guys are seeing Jaden, you catching this? Like, me and Nestor are matching right now. You see? You see what I'm saying? We got a little matching vibe. Porque somos unos tigres de verdad. De la selva.
A tiger motive. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Damn, and where can they get the book? Just on that website?
The book is on Amazon, and it's everywhere in the whole country. These people don't play around. It's in Costco or in the airports or everywhere else.
That's
So
awesome. Wow.
Yeah, you can get it in that format or
the digital one.
The digital one on Amazon, and it's everywhere.
Hey, you guys get on there and buy the book and leave a review saying you got it from the Don't Blink podcast.
Well, actually, we're gonna get the Amazon link and we're gonna put it on the description of this episode, so everyone can just go to the description. You know what I'm saying? Get your book, support the vibes, because this is good. My girl's Cuban.
Oh, the girl's Cuban?
My girlfriend Cuban.
Well, this is not only the father of Cuban independence, the father of Cuban thinkers, but also this is great for like my great kids like Caleb and Junior, because these kids need to keep the language alive. This is the responsibility.
No, we got to keep Jose Marti's name alive for sure.
We have to keep him alive.
Definitely a legend in Cuban culture. Oh yeah, and what's going on next? What do you have next? Anything in the plans right now? Are you working on anything?
Yeah, you know that I'm a poet, basically. So I started like a poet, and I got in trouble as a poet. So I always write poetry. My grandson now became a poet too. Yesterday I said, okay, 3 words, and I gave him 3 words, and then he had in front of him a keyboard for the first time. And it was amazing to see. My tears came to my eyes. He went like, bang, too low, bong, too low, bong, too low, bong, too low. And then he hit the right one and he said, bang, that one. And it started.
That's awesome.
Junior.
That's the basic of a poet, so poets getting the right tune.
No, let me tell you, this week Junior's been a superstar on Instagram. We took him to, we won an award for the movie, and he got on the microphone. He's a natural when it comes behind the mic.
Natural. Him and Caleb, I see them having a podcast. Absolutely. Just like this one.
Sure.
Or maybe
Caleb and Junior have a podcast.
Yeah, I know the name. The Monsters.
Little Monsters.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Damn,
Pops,
that's awesome.
And I saw you had the other day when I went to your reading, you had another book out. What, de donde son los gusanos?
Oh, this is a book from 2019.
Okay.
De donde son los gusanos. This is a book about my return to Cuba 37 years after that I had never gone back. So I went back. I went to the house where I was born. I went to the house where I last lived in Cuba. So I returned to a place where I studied.
How do those places look?
The
same, or
no? What happened in Cuba is everything has been led to rot. So everything everything is like in total, total decay.
Yeah.
So that book is about the return of somebody comes back 37 years after.
Gusanos, you were telling me yesterday, is what they call Cubans that come back.
Gusanos is a political term. It's a political word. They call you like calling you shit. Basically, you're a piece of shit. They've said that too, but gusano is even worse. You're a vermin. Vermin.
Yeah.
So this is what they called us when we were against the government, or when we left the country. Oh, you're a vermin. You're a vermin. Wow. So my book is where the vermin is from, or are from. Yeah. Because this is the place where all that came from. Yeah. It came from. Yeah.
So when you went to jail, you did the time. They let you out, and then they like banned you, right? You're like banned. You were banned from Cuba for quite some time.
Yeah, I'm banned.
You know what?
So right now, when you say you go back. You could go back? They let you back?
No. I went back into
37 years later.
No, 37 years later. No, but even then, I had to go. I go back.
Yeah, and your name is well known when it comes to
my name is well known there, and I had a I don't know. My birth certificate had all of my names. I had a long Spanish name, and they cut it short, and some of those names remain in the new passport they gave me.
Shit.
And if some reason it wasn't me. I didn't do it on purpose. But, it was somebody else. So I got in there, and but it's the first trip was in 2016. So I got there, and immediately somebody asked me, "Do you want to read in a hip place in downtown Havana?" It's a tattoo parlor, and they have a place like this one, a little bigger, where 200 people fit. Yeah. So they said, "You want to read there?" And I said, "Yeah." So a very good friend of mine over there is Che Guevara's son, said the illegitimate son of Che Guevara outside of his marriage. Mm-hmm. But his son recognized, and everybody knows him. His name is Omar Perez, the last name of his mother's husband. Yeah. So, anyways, he presented me. So it was really like an event, which like a total counter-revolutionary, where the son of the revolution, the great revolutionary. So I read everything I wanted. So it like I don't know, like 100 people came, and I read my poetry. And my son, my nephew is a very famous actor in there. The movie is Juan de los Muertos. It's a zombie movie, and he was with me, and he was reading with me, and nothing. And then I went home. We were repairing the house, my wife's house. So we spent time in there. When we got back to LA, she got an email from a friend who is in the government, and he said, "What the fuck is wrong with this asshole? He came here just to talk shit," because I started writing in my blog about my first trip. Yeah, and she said, "You are the asshole, you're freaking motherfucker." So he shoots back another email. But the third time he responds, he made a mistake that all these assholes motherfuckers do usually. So he sent the email that have sent him from the government saying, "Nestor Diaz De Villegas is here. This is what he's written about Cuba." So he
and what was it? The shit you had when you were 16 years old, or
no,
the new stuff
from holy shit, they hold a grudge.
Oh no, they have that still. But no, what he did is that he had received an email from the government saying Nestor Diaz De Villegas is here. So I've written all these things while I was there, putting it on my blog, and they had told their cronies, "Look, Nestor is here. This is not Mr. Cruz, this is Nestor here. He's writing, and this is what he's writing."
Oh,
so he's telling Nestor, "What the fuck is wrong with Nestor? He's been here and he's talking shit." So, but he responds a third time, and he forgets, and he writes. He does one of the things that we do.
He forwarded it. He forwarded all of that,
and that's the government email to him.
Oh shit!
So then we get it, and Esther tells me, "Look." And I said, "Shit." They were after me.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
So I went 3 more times, but now knowing that they were an eye on me.
Right.
Yeah.
No more blogging.
Gotta
from
be
Cuba.
careful, bro.
No, I started blowing.
You gotta be
You have
careful.
to be careful. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I want you to say about. You told me one time, and it was interesting to me how you got here in '79, and Mariel was in '80. So you were already in Miami, and you told me one day you were walking through downtown Miami, and fucking you see everybody you were in prison with, and people from Cuba and everything, friends. How was that?
Yeah, you know what happened in 1980 was people here, my family included, they went to Havana and they put them in a marina and they made them pay dearly, for every little ship that went there to pick up a family. They had to pay a daily fee. And they were making money like they now making money off our backs. Have to send $100. People are suffering over there, so they take the $100, and where you get is like 20 cents. And so, anyways, this was happening back then, and some of these people got like 2 of the list of 5 family members that they wanted to bring back. The rest of the camaroneros, they used to call them because it was a shrimp boats.
Yeah.
So they put people from the common prisoners from jail.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm in a prison in Santa Clara in 1974, and this very perfect gentleman comes to me and tells me, "Hi, how are you doing?" I said, "Oh, hi." I was 18. Yeah. So what's up? Oh, nothing. No, I'm a poet. Oh, I'm a poet too. And we had a conversation. We had like two or three conversations. Then people from my town in jail, it's a tapiada. It's like tapiada. The first jail was tapiada. It's like a huge wall all the way over there. I mean, you don't see the sun, and then there's bad people only there, and. They tell me, don't talk to this guy anymore. I say, why? This guy wants to kill you. The best that can happen to you with him is he kills you. It could be something worse. But I said, why? He's such a gentleman. He's such a sweet guy. He's a poet. He's not a poet. He's a serial killer.
Serial killer. Oh, shit.
He killed people before the revolution, and he's been here since then. And then he killed people here, and he's going to kill you or worse. And I said, oh, really? Oh, but at that moment, they transferred me. From jail. And his name was Meme. I never forget. I never forget. Meme. His name was Meme. Anyways, I was saved by the bell. Went to Ariza, the concentration camp. There, came here. Many years passed. A couple of 5 years.
5 years passed.
Then 2 years, and then. I'm walking down Flagler Street, and I go to Robert's Pharmacy. On Second, by the bridge.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I go over there and I see this guy, cleaning his nails with a blade, like going like this. So when I come into
serial killer vibes.
I'm a serial killer attitude. So when I come into the pharmacy and I come back and I said, "Excuse me, sir, your name is Meme?" He said, "Thank you for recognizing me." I said, "Yeah, I know you. Where do you know me from?" Yeah, I said, "For the Pretensables." "Oh, thank you very much." He didn't recognize me. Yeah, I said, "Okay, yeah." So they had put in one of those boats a guy that had like 60 years term.
And they sent him back to Miami. We got some of the best over here.
Yeah, so that was Miami in 1980.
We got Tony Montana came in at Mariel. Right?
Exactly.
Talking about that, we're gonna have Manolo on soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, and that was in 2000. That was in
1980.
1980. I wonder if he ran wild in here. Yeah, I wonder if he was going.
You never know.
Yeah, that's what I said. I wonder. Imagine Meme.
He's now in prison here, probably doing that.
No, he was an older man, so probably he passed back. I mean, if he didn't net down, I'm in trouble again.
Dad, man, Dad, it's been awesome having you on.
Hell yeah.
It's amazing to have you here.
This is an honor, really. Yeah. I follow the program, and it's a great program, and I'm so proud of you. Dad put you on the world stage and the world stage, and I'm so proud. Proud.
Thank you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And you can see I get some of my talking skills from my father here. Come here, son. We got another. Come here, Caleb. We got generations here of the Diaz De Villegas clan.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come through in the back. Come through in the back.
Come here.
I want to cry.
He's an actor. He's an actor.
Yeah, we got generations here. We got the grandfather, the son, and the grandson, and the grandnephew right here.
It starts with him.
Listen, everybody, it's been another episode of what?
Don't blink.
That's right, Don't Blink Podcast. Thank you for joining us. We love y'all.
Yes,
we out.
No, Nestor, man, this is it's been amazing, and I'm intrigued because I'm somewhat of a poet too. I do music.
No, he's very dope, very dope. Well, he's in touch with his feelings.
Thank you for having me. I'm a fan of the program, of your program. And it's a wonderful program.
Thank you.
And proud of you, proud of what you've done, proud of what you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you. I love you.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead, Junior. Kick us out of here. Tell us.
Don't blink.
I think me and Two Nights got something great going on.
Wonderful,
we got some great guests coming up. It's gonna be dope. We got some dope people that already signed up to do it with us, which is great. A lot of people show us love, and it's because we love them back for sure.